It's PDAC 2015 and we're starting our coverage. We're at the CPM Silver Reception, and joining me tonight is Geoff Burns. He's the CEO of Pan American Silver. It's our yearly reunion. Geoff, good to be back with you.
Well, thank you very much. It is becoming an annual event.
Absolutely. So let's catch up with what's been happening at Pan American Silver. You had some changes in senior management this year. Also, results recently came out, but first let's talk a little bit about the changes, then we'll get into the numbers.
Okay. Just very recently, we promoted Michael Steinman, who was our Executive Vice President of Geology and Corporate Development. Been with the company for 10 years, and recently promoted to President. And want to congratulate Michael on that, and look forward to him helping me a little bit more as we go forward. Bottom line, I'm not going to be here forever, and this is a very straightforward plan to bring someone forward, and Michael's the guy.
All right, well, let's talk numbers now. Impairment charges really seems to be the theme for mining companies for the past quarter. Company reported a net loss of over $500 million, mainly impairment charges. How do you see things set up now moving forward?
Well, let's just, first of all, on the impairment charges, I mean, I think we're not alone. Every one of the companies is dealing with a lower price deck than we have in the past. And when you run the numbers and do the discounting, it requires you to take write-downs on your properties, which is, my own view, it's not necessarily an accurate reflection of future value, but those are the accounting rules, and so you have to do it. And we wrote off almost $500 million this year. So not really a very happy way to end 2014 with that kind of write-off. That's behind us, and going forward, the good news is, over the last year and a half, we really have retuned the business and focused on our costs, focused on our productivity, focused on grade, and in a real sense lowered our average costs. So where 2 years ago we were all in sustaining costs, which is the new metric on the block, we were right around $20 an ounce. Now we're much closer to $16 an ounce. So whenever you can drop almost 20% out of your cost structure, that's a very good thing.
So what's your target now for all-in sustaining costs?
For going forward, we're about right on $16.50, which actually makes us in the lowest quartile in the industry. I hate to do this, there's a lot of talk about who has the lowest cash costs. At the end of the day, it's not about just cash costs, it's about how much you spend to run your business. And Pan American is one of the lowest cost companies in doing silver at $16.50 an ounce. Not a great price considering today's price of silver is right around $17, but better than just about everyone else in our sector.
So Geoff, let's talk about the silver price. We just came back from the BMO conference where the silver miners were saying, look, we need a silver rally because it's going to be hard to sustain mining at these prices.
Well, I agree. At current prices, there's not a lot of deposits that make money. And my own view is that it can't stay at that price for very long before you start to finally see mines shutting down. Miners are good at struggling and working hard and trying to compensate for lower prices, but most of us have reached that point where it's not much more we can do. And in that sense, we need to see higher prices for actually, bottom line, to make money, which is what we're trying to do.
So are you one of those CEOs calling for triple-digit silver, or are you more modest?
No. Look, my tune hasn't changed for a couple years. I think, Danielle, last year when we talked, the silver price was right around $20, $19.20, and I thought we'd seen a bottom. Well, I was wrong. The price actually came down a bit further to where we are right now at $16.50 or so. My fundamental position hasn't changed on the long-term value of silver. We just seen the euro very recently, or not the euro, the governor of the euro, governor of the central, Draghi, thank you very much, announced another phase of quantitative easing, which is on the back of the U.S. quantitative easing, which everyone says, well, that's done now, but for 8 years they printed money. Japan, they're not done yet with their quantitative easing, and Sweden, as another kind of a minor bank, but they just announced they're going to do the same thing. At the end of the day, when you print currency, commodities have to be worth more. They just have to be. It's just 101 economics, at least the way I learned it. When you have more money, then things of value, like silver and like gold, eventually have to go up. I don't know when. Could be in 2015. I'm hopeful. I'm more realistically, I think it's 2016 and beyond. But silver is going to do incredibly well, as is gold, as is oil. It makes no sense to me today that the oil price is $50 a barrel when there's 3 times the amount of money around than there was 5 years ago. It will do better.
So, Geoff, I guess to wrap, what's the greatest challenge for a silver miner today? Is it the silver price?
Well, that's a big one, without a question. I think the biggest challenge remains, actually there are 2, and I count them kind of the same. But the first and foremost, like any mining company, is finding new deposits. If you can't find a deposit that is economically mineable, well, then you're not much of a producer because you can't make any money producing silver. The second thing is always going to be and is dealing with the local people and the local governments to convince them that mining is a good thing. I mean, we've done, I think, very well where we are in Peru, in Mexico, in Bolivia, and Argentina, in making friends with our local communities. But the social license today to mine is more important than it's ever been, and that is going to continue to be a challenge today and going into the future.
On that note, Geoff, I wish you best of luck with your company, and I guess I'll see you next year.
Thanks, Danielle.
And thanks for watching our kickoff coverage here from PDAC 2015. We'll have so much more for you, so be sure to stay tuned to Kitco.com. Thanks for watching.